good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems. Certainly want to welcome you here this afternoon and hope that everybody is able to hear me. We are going to make sure of that in just a second, so I'll start calling out some names and then see what we can do to make sure that we're being heard here. Today, what we're going to do, we're going to really dive into our support here at American Business Systems. Patrick felt it was necessary and important for those that are looking to get into this business to really understand what's going on behind the scenes after you become a licensee, after you go through training, what support's going to look like. So we've got this title in today, Don't Start a New Business Without a Winning Support Team. And we're actually going to show you a couple of things, even from a Forbes magazine web article that just came out this last year, of really why a lot of entrepreneurs do fail. And it's really because of a lack of support here. So we'll hopefully be able to close that gap for you this afternoon and really get involved in what's really going on behind the scenes here with American Business Systems here for your support. I wanted to introduce myself to you. Hopefully, there we go. I think we've got the controls there. Let me see if I can click that one more time and get to the next slide. My name is Eric Ogea. I'm the Director of Research and Development here at American Business Systems. It just simply means that we're always testing things to help our licensees become better. We're really working with our licensees a whole lot every week. We're doing something with them in order to help them grow their business and research and develop new areas that can actually help them. For those that are first-timers here that have never been on our webinars before, we want to kind of get you caught up to a little bit about who we are and what we have to offer. As you can see here, we've got a full suite of services that you're able to deliver to these doctors. Everything from the billing platform to the electronic medical records to the other services that you can see here that we'll kind of talk a little bit about today. Not a lot, but these are some of the areas that you can go learn even more about through our website. You can see our website down there at absystems.com. That'll actually land you on our homepage of our website where you can learn more about us, learn more about that business package as you can see right there in the middle. You can certainly look at what that title bar up there where it says income potential. You'll actually get to do a little bit of calculations there to see what kind of potential you might have with just one doctor. It's very interesting. In that news area on our website up there is our blog, and that's where we host all of our different webinars that we've done in the past for the last 3 to 4 years. So we've really got a chock full of information there. So please go over there and check us out there. We are and still have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. We know a lot of people are looking all over the internet to try to find out what business they're trying to get into. Then once they find a business, how do I go prove and find out and vet them out to see if they're for real or not? You want to go to a reputable site. Obviously, Better Business Bureau has been around for a long time. Go to them, check us out. You can see that we have an A+ rating. And anything that does ever come up, we're there to help. That's what we're talking about today, about support. That's why we can maintain this A+ rating along with the Better Business Bureau. Now, today what we're going to show you in some instances is what to do and how to use our system to actually help you get a client, and then once you have a client, what we do to help support you with this system. You can see iClaim and EMRX. Those are the billing platforms and the electronic medical records platform. Folks all over the country, just like yourself, have been using this same platform. As you can see here, everybody that you see there's popping up here on this map here is using this platform to grow their business, to actually get their business up and going, and that's what we were able to do, and that's what we've been doing, as you can see here, for the last 21 years. So you can be part of this entire team. Everybody that you see on here is actually part of our winning support team. We have people that have doctors, everything from a cardiologist to a pediatrics to podiatry, and so if there's a specialty that you're looking at needing help with, we actually have any of our licensees that can help turn to and help you with that help of getting possibly your new doctor started. Introduce you to Patrick Phillips. Patrick is our CEO and founder of American Business Systems. He's also an author. Has written several books. about to start a brand new book and has already started a brand new books. Obviously, these books can be found on Amazon, but part of this is what you get as part of your support. So we'll certainly talk about that. But before I do anything else and get any further, I'm going to ask Patrick to go ahead and come on his video camera. And Patrick, let's get this thing kicked off, because I know it's important for you as the founder, the CEO of American Business Systems, that when people actually come in to ABS, you want to make sure that they're supported.
Yeah, I think you've got an article here that we're going to read from in a moment, Eric. But just in general, folks, when people ask me what is the secret to success in any business, one of the things you have to have once you get a business up and running, assuming that you pick hours, for example, you've got to have a winning support team. That is, you have to have people ready to support you in your efforts to go out and build a business. The hardest part about getting started in any business is finding your first client. And
Right.
that's part of what we're going to show today, is how ABS is a part of helping you to actually get that first client.
Yeah, Patrick, we put this picture up here because I think this is what we see in a lot of entrepreneurs. They've got a great idea. They may have a great product. They may have a great service. But fulfilling is some of the greatest struggles that people might have. And if they have a lack of support, you're going to find yourselves very frustrated very quickly. And I do have another article that I did find just today, even though it's back from January of this year, from Forbes magazine. And if we take a look at that here, we can see that it says, I think as it comes up, there we go, it talks about that 90% of all startups fail. Here's what you need to know about the 10%, some of the little things that they need to know. The fourth thing that this guy talks about in his article is that the team needs to know how to recover. And I think the way that we position that is that, folks come through the training, they get out there, they're excited, and then they try to get out there and get going, but they need a place, a recovery place, so to say, for support. And it says, he goes on to say there, every startup is backed by a team of people. The more versatile that team, the better chance they have of succeeding. That's what we're able to offer them. And if we took a look at that map of all those other licensees out there, that's pretty versatile that we can offer that to a brand new licensee.
Yeah, so let me point out, Eric, just so people know that this is not saying that 90% of our startup licensees fail. But in general, that's true of most startup businesses. A lot of them fail. Partly because they don't have enough, capital on hand. They don't have enough cash flow, for example, to keep them in business for more than a year or two. But if a business can actually show a profit in the first 2 years even, they're doing really well. In our case, a lot of our licensees have recovered their investment in our business opportunity within the first 90 days to 6 months. That's a tremendous goal for anybody to reach in business, is to get profitable and show a net profit in that short a period of time. You're going to see today, folks, why many of our licensees are profitable in a very short period of time.
Yeah, so let's just jump right on in there. I mean, because I think we talk about the market. We talk about how really wide the market is. But then on the other hand, if someone does go out there and they actually do get a client, I mean, that's the thing. What happens whenever I get a client? What kind of lifetime of support do I get here with ABS, and really what does that mean? So that's where we're going to kind of at least dive it into right here at the first part of it.
Well, first of all, most businesses out there don't offer lifetime support. And the reason is because they haven't modeled their business the right way. So let me just pause the slides here to kind of talk to people about why we did what we did, Eric, because as you know, up until about 4 or 5 years ago, we didn't have lifetime support either. We had a limited period of time. I think it started at a year, and then we went to 2 years. And then at some point, I brought the staff into our conference room and I said, look, guys, why wouldn't we want to continue supporting our licensees forever as long as they are continuing to process their claims through our system? Because we've set it up so that we make a few pennies on each one of those transactions. And that means that we're profitable when our licensees are profitable. So if we continue to support them forever, making them grow their business, like some of them have to where they've added 30, 40, 50, 60 doctors, then we as a company make more money on the back end as well. And so
Right.
it's important that people realize that most companies you look at out there, most business opportunities and franchises do not have lifetime support unless they have built into it a royalty, which means they get 6 or 8% of all of your profits right off the top. So
Right.
let's explain in detail, Eric, what it means when we talk about our lifetime support. What does that entail?
Yeah, let's get into that. Well, first of all, I know that one of the things that you put up there is what you just talked about, is that there are no royalties. There's no other fees that are going to go along with it that's going to nickel and dime a brand new licensee, especially after they've invested the $25,000 with us. So we really kind of just go through here of let's see what's expected, because again, as a brand new licensee, uh, the last thing you need to be doing is paying that money and have paid that large amount of sum up there, and then say, oh my gosh, in another 30 days, 60 days, I got to pay another fee to keep things
Right,
going here.
right.
So that's one thing you don't have to worry about.
And that's one of the differences between a franchise. Oh, sorry. Oh, I probably busted everybody's ears. I knocked over my microphone there. Sorry.
That's all right.
But one of the differences between a franchise and a licensing situation like we are is that there's no royalties. And that means, like if you bought a McDonald's, every month from your gross revenues, you skim off 6, 8, 9%, whatever their percentage is, and send that back to McDonald's. With us, there are no ongoing royalties of any kind. The pennies that we do make come from the back end. Think of it as our clearinghouse, our technology partners are actually paying us a few pennies on each one of the claims that go through our system. Not you, the licensee, but our technology partners. And had I not even told you that, you wouldn't even know that. But I think it's important that people understand that we do make money on, each of your transactions. That way, we're successful, you're successful, everybody makes money. That's the American way.
Exactly, and I think that's what helps people understand about why we give the lifetime support. Because, folks, if you just come into our business and you do absolutely nothing, there's no win for you. There's no win for us. The only way that there's a win is when we help you win, and so that's why we're talking about that just so plainly today, and showing you basically. You're going to see a lot of things that is behind the scenes today. So, and then we've also got up here that there's no additional user fees. I actually had that question asked of me this last week, Patrick, about how many users do I get whenever we do get this doctor signed up. I said, as many as you want. There are no locked in, you can only have so many seats available to actually get into there.
Yeah, most software that's out there, folks, they do charge for each additional user or each additional seat at their software. So since ours is a cloud-based system, you, as the licensee, have the opportunity to set up as many other users as you need for that account. That could be people who work for you. It could be people who work for the doctor, him or herself. There is no limit to that. And that's important that you make sure that there are no additional fees for you when you do, look at other pieces of software that's out there. No support or access fees at all. Again, many companies, including franchises, have a monthly advertising fee that you have to pay, for example, to be a part of their advertising pool. And many other companies have a monthly or annual support fee, meaning they want you to pay them for any support that you need after that initial first year or 2 years or whatever they have. Again, none of that. Folks, we don't believe in having you nickel and dime to death once you become an ABS licensee.
Yeah, and no software or upgrade fees to that. Unlike if a system was being used as a server-based type of software, absolutely you'd have upgrades and software updates as you probably have known there in the past. So we're just showing you all these fees that you will not have to incur as being a licensee of ours. You've got complete support from us through one of the things that we'll show you today is our licensee support site. And when there's an update or an upgrade to that, you're not being charged for that extra information. and so that's it's a good business, folks, that you can be a part of, not to have to worry about anything that's going to maybe come back and get you on the back end.
Yeah, it's those hidden fees that I would worry about, and that you really ought to ask a lot of questions to anyone else that's thinking about helping you get a business started. Ask them, what other fees, are there any other fees beyond what I initially pay you? And for example, software upgrades can be very expensive. With some software, it could be another $2,000 or $3,000 every quarter, for example, as you update the software. So be sure and ask about that. And then, Eric, over the years, we've added new features and new services that our licensees can offer to doctors' offices, and we've never charged anything for any of that, and we never
Right,
will.
right. And then I think you've got another one. No training fees. That's another one. There's just no training fees. So part of what you buy with us and get involved with us, if you're going to come get in that live week of training, for you, there's no extra training fees for you as that licensee.
Yeah, because as you'll see here in a moment, we'll show you a little bit about our ongoing training webinars for our licensees. Now, you folks that are on this webinar today are looking at getting into business with American Business Systems and buying a license from us for the software and the usage of all of our services. But we have other webinars that we do on Fridays that are specifically for people who have come through our live training and now want to continue their education. There's never any fees for any of those training webinars. And let's talk about clearinghouses for a moment, Eric, because when we talk about medical billing, everybody knows who've looked into it that there's an entity called a clearinghouse. Why don't you explain a little bit about why that's no fees for us?
Yeah, well, the good thing about it is that it's actually part of our billing software already. This is another important area for you to understand. This is the area of where you would differentiate yourself from all other medical billing companies out there in the first place. We do have our own clearinghouse, and that clearinghouse is embedded into the system. So as you'll see here, we're talking about right now, there's no additional fees for you as an ABS licensee for us here at American Business Systems. There are some fees that will go towards the doctor, and which we'll show that to you later on, but that's part of your services of what you're charging for that doctor to actually do that. But that's all inclusive, which means that for you, again, there's no software, there's no clearinghouse fees that you ever have to worry about. So to process a claim, it has to go through a clearinghouse. And since ours is embedded in it, it's all included.
Yeah, some of those software, clearinghouse fees can be, anywhere from 40, 50% per claim to up to $1 per claim. At one time, we had a technology partner that was charging for each claim that went through the system. And so with what we've decided, folks, is that needs to be, transparent to you up front, that there are no fees ongoing, so you don't have to worry about that, what your cost would be, so you can figure your profitability pretty quickly. So let's go back to this topic. We're talking about, what does lifetime support really mean? Well, one of the things that we include in our support, folks, is almost, what would you say, Eric? It's incomprehensible. It's just not done.
Yeah, I mean,
live demos.
I look at this as us helping you market your business. I mean, there is, and the great thing about it is we never have to leave our offices. We do everything as we're doing right now through a go-to meeting, a virtual meeting.
Yeah.
To where, as you look on the screen from kind of the left to right, you see the doctors there. You could be literally there in the middle, down to the bottom, and then we would be over there. So, Patrick, I don't know if that was a young picture of me or not.
It is. Many, many years ago.
That's the gray area there, so that's not me. But folks, that's what we would do. We're actually marketing your business, and that is so crucial for you as a brand new licensee. To have the strength of American Business Systems behind you and partnering with you to market your business is pretty powerful.
Yeah, the live demos really entail us showing, of course, to the doctor and their staff, or whoever wants to attend it, the advantages of outsourcing their billing to you as an ABS licensee. So by showing them the technology that's involved in all of that, all of the different features that are involved in our billing and electronic medical record system, it blows them away, folks. Half of all the doctors who see these demos, they're just saying, wow, through the whole thing. Eric, you hear that all the time. You have to stop your demo sometime, I know, because you can hear them talking amongst them. Did you see that? Wow, we need something like this. And so, folks, we're actually helping you to close the deal with doctors by showing them the latest leading edge technology. They are blown away when they see it. And we do that, again, at no cost to you. As many of those demos as you want. We have an online system that you go and register that doctor's demo, giving us the times that are available for that doctor to see these. And then we set those up and do those using technology like we're using today.
Exactly. Patrick, there are some questions coming in. I want to kind of back up real quickly on at least the one for Steven. Steven's asking the question about live training, because we just talked about live training just a minute ago.
Yeah.
When you get to live training and you go, when you sign the purchase agreement with us, what you get is one seat in live training. So that's that covered there. However, if you've got additional folks that want to come to the training class, it's not another $25,000. It's just another $995, right at $1,000, and that helps us cover our initial cost on the information that's given, the books, and covers everything else that we hand out there during the week, and including just taking care of that particular seat there. So if you've got other folks that want to come, in the purchase agreement, you'll clearly see it there that it's an additional $995 for any additional seat. So absolutely, you can actually have more people to come.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I was just going to
go to the next question there. Because I didn't want to get too far, because I know people are asking their questions, and I want to make sure that they know that we're keeping up with that too. Nikhil, you're asking how much does the doctor need to pay for the clearinghouse? We're actually going to show you for the first time on any webinar that we've ever done, we're actually going to show you some live things here about some of the costs that it actually costs the doctor. But this is all wrapped up. Remember, this is all going to be wrapped up in your proposal for the doctor. And then Carmen, you asked a great question here about, aren't most doctors' offices operated by big businesses? That's not the case. Most doctors are either being handled by someone in their staff, a spouse, some relative, or some other small medical billing company. There are a handful of large companies out there that will do large businesses. But I can tell you this from experience, that we have licensees that handle large doctor groups already. Patrick, you know that we've got Terrence Patterson up out of the New Jersey, Boston area that just signed up 36 podiatrists. That was a large group, Carmen, a large group of podiatrists in the New Jersey area. And one of our licensees was able to get that entire account and pulled it away from what you would think of a big managed care account.
Yeah, and Carmen, you'll see here in just a moment, we're going to show you some of the actual orders, sign-up orders from our licensees. Right. So if it's true that they're all being handled by these large companies, how come we see sign-ups every day here in our office of licensees who've signed up either one single doctor practice, or a multiple practice like Terrence just did there, those 36. You'll see that here in just a second. So great question, though.
All right, let's keep going here. I mean, because I'm having fun here. This is good. I love it because, Patrick, this is what I love to do the best, is do these demos, because you're right. When we get to do these live demos with these doctors, that's the most powerful thing. And I think, again, outside of the other support that people get here at ABS, this is one of the most powerful things that they actually get, is the seeing of the demos here.
Yeah, now these shots that we're throwing up on the screen here, folks, these are screen captures. They're not live, of course, but when we do the demo, we're actually bringing up our system, logging in live over the internet, and letting people actually see it in real life work. Again, we just put a couple of pictures up here so you can kind of see what we're showing the doctor. And again, when the doctor sees some of this stuff, for example, these reports right here, they just have never seen anything like this, because in real time, they're able to access this You give them a login and a password, of course, to get into just the areas of our system that you want them to be in, which would be the reporting. And so they have no questions as to whether their money is really being collected and whether it's on time or not.
Right. So what Patrick is flipping through here is just some of the areas about the system that actually we can demonstrate to you if you are looking to get into this business and you want to see really what we actually do. We'll be more than happy to do a demonstration just for you. Nobody else will be on the call, just between you and me or one of the other business coaches here at ABS. And we'll take you through it as though we had your doctor on the call. And we'll kind of go through some of the key points that we know that we go over. But as you're seeing here, these are areas that a lot of doctors just don't have. Now, let me explain to you really so that we understand that the system that we're showing you, this is actual systems that we actually place into the doctor's office. It's through what's called software as a service, so we actually get the doctors logged into there. They have access to their entire patient database and all their patients' medical records. So we can combine all of that, put it in one spot, including that extra part of owning our own clearinghouse. And folks, wait till you see really what we can do with that. That's what's impressive, and that's what's impressing the doctors.
Yeah, and this, by the way, this system was actually programmed to look fantastic on an Apple iPad, as many of the doctors are going to tablets and pads. So it can be on any tablet or any pad, but it was designed specifically to look really, really cool. That's why you see these buttons here on a computer screen. Buttons don't have to be that big. But on an iPad or tablet, they need to be big enough to where your fingers can hit the buttons and choose things by just tapping the buttons. And so once you see the demo for yourself, guys, you'll be I think you'll be very impressed with what can be done there. All right, Eric, let's talk about the practice analysis that we teach our people to do. This is part of our support. We teach you to go out and get a certain number of questions from the doctor or the doctor's office manager. Here's a screenshot of the actual practice analysis that we give you. And we go through this in training in depth as to how to ask these questions, why the questions are asked, what answers you can expect, and what questions might be given to you. So we go through this in depth, and by the time you've gone through this, you'll realize that with this data, with this information, you can go back and do a fantastic proposal to the doctor, which we'll show here in just a moment.
And what's important about the practice analysis is this. It helps us who are actually going to do the demonstration for you to really know and learn about that particular practice. Let's say that Patrick takes his practice analysis and goes to a chiropractor or a pediatrician, fills this information out. Then his next step is to get that back to us here to do the demos, because now we kind of know a little bit about the practice that we're about to do the demonstration for. So first of all, we get to call the doctor by name. We get to know a little bit about their practice, how many patients they're actually seeing. So this blended in with this demo is another vital piece. First of all, we're going to teach it to you in the training class, and then secondly, we're going to actually help you, get that out there and produce a good proposal, getting you set up to do the demonstration. This all works hand in hand, just like a glove on a hand.
Yeah, and once you've gotten this information, by the way, we'll teach you how to go back and create what's called a practice revenue report. I'll throw that up on the screen here, and you'll see that with this, you'll be able to go through this with the doctor when you come back with your proposal. This is just one part of the proposal, but here's basically what it looks like. And I'll kind of explain this real briefly. Again, we go into detail with this on the training class, but as you can see, we've taken the number of claims that doctor is filing monthly and the average amount collected per claim, which is $100, and their current uncollected claim rate. In other words, this particular office was 25%. That's below average, actually, isn't it, Eric? What's the average nationwide for that? Maybe I lost Eric there. He's talking, but
I clicked on mute there for a second. I had to cough there. The rejected rate that's actually a little high. It could be as high as 30%, but really 20 to 25% is about the area of what we see. But if you think about it, as Patrick, anywhere from 20 to 30% of what gets processed out there never gets collected, just simply because the claim did not get processed and accepted the first time. That's where a lot of revenue is just lost.
Yeah, and part of that is the technology. Some of it is human error and so forth. We'll show you how to get your rejection rate in our system nationwide. It's less than 2%. You see it right here. So,
Right.
folks, we've increased this practice's revenue by just decreasing their rejection rate to 2% by
Right.
50%. That's 122,000 more dollars per year that this practice would see without having outsourced to you.
And I think you've got some actual reports that have been done here. So let's take a look at those, because we've redacted some of the names and who it was prepared for and who it was prepared by. But these are actual practice revenue reports. You can see here that this is pretty much of a standard. This would be like a single practice here. So you can see claims filed on a monthly basis about 350. Average is about 400 a month, because it's usually about 100 every week. So 350 is about right. You can see the amount of the claim billed right there. You can see that approximate rejected claim, which is about 15%, is still high, but it's still double digits there. And then we kind of just keep working through, and then we have our projections there. And then if you see down at the bottom, we've increased the revenue at least by 13%. Well, that's another almost $3,000 more a month for this particular practice. So there's two numbers that you can see there. Up there where it says current, and all the way down where it's got the 21,613 right there, that's that number versus what the projection of what we could bring in, 24,439. That's what we're showing and projecting to the doctors of what they can at least increase, and that's with someone else doing their billing. So, folks, this is some of the expected revenue reports that you can do after you've done that practice analysis. I think you got at least one, if not two more, that seem to be pretty impressive here.
Yeah, so they're not all as dramatic as the example that we showed you there at the beginning, as you can see. But here's another one from one of our licensees that was sent in that was pretty impressive. This rejection rate was only 15%, but because of the dollars that are being brought in here, we're going to increase that revenue. At bottom line is about $101,000 a year for this particular practice. So, folks, you can imagine when a doctor sees this, the bottom line for a doctor is the bottom line, right? That's nothing to sneeze at. Why would a doctor not at least try your services and outsource the billing to you for a period of time at least, so that they could see the results for themselves? And they do. Here's another one. This one's over $250,000, Eric. This was one that was sent in. There was a 20% rejection rate. And again, because of the dollars, we got it down to bringing in an extra $21,000 a month.
Right. That's a good amount of money, and this is a big practice here. I mean, if I think, Carmen, you were asking about, our doctors going with larger medical billing company groups. You can see there that the average number of claims filed a month, that's 2,500 claims a month. That's a big practice. This is a big practice.
Yeah.
So, and whenever you can make this kind of impact on a big practice, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Eric, I see a question here from Bill. When we were talking about doing the live demos, he's asking when you're showing it, what kind of computer system would you need to use? Actually, folks, this could be shown to a doctor on an iPad. I guess you could show it on an iPhone, but that's kind of small. So really, it can be an Apple system, a tablet, a Windows-based, Macintosh. It doesn't matter. Any computer will work for the demos that we do, Bill.
Yeah, because we're actually on the internet. So as long as you've got a decent internet speed, you're going to be just fine.
Yep. All right, so Eric, once they've gotten the practice analysis done, and once they've created this revenue report here, now they put all that together in what we call our professional proposal. So we're going to actually show you this. And Eric, I think this is the first time we've ever done this.
I think so.
I just feel like we need to just be as open as we can to people. Of course, they could steal everything that we are sharing with them and go out and start their own business if they wanted to. But hey, they need to know that we've put a lot of time and work into these things. And for example, the proposal itself, this is just a fake company we came up with here, but as you can see, we have a cover letter already ready for you to fill in your information down at the bottom there. Then it goes into the proposal itself for the doctor. And as you can see, we've actually broken it down for the doctor easily through some bullet points here as to what we can do for that doctor.
Right.
Now, it's every service that we have that we've included in this template so that you just go in, it's a Word document, and basically you take out and delete the things that you think might not be applicable to that practice, because they're all different, aren't they, Eric?
Yeah, it's all a Word document. You can use this in a Word document. If they're an Apple user, certainly you can bring this into Pages and go from there. But you're seeing every breakdown of every single service that we have, what it's going to cost, what it's going to go for them. As we get down further to here, you're going to see there's what's called the action plan, what's going to happen next. So all of this is in there. You don't have to go back through all this. Now here's where I don't think we've ever shown anything like this before, and I appreciate Patrick being open as he's doing here. But this is your money and what you're going to be making. And so you can see that there's using iClaim, that you would absolutely charge the doctor about a $1,500 setup fee. Now, we tell you that's low, but you can certainly get higher than that. The ongoing service fee that you've got for that. If they're going to use the electronic medical records, what it could cost them to use for that, a setup fee for that, and what it's going to cost per user. Now, all of these numbers, don't just start jotting all these down and think that, again, you can go out and go do whatever you want to go do, because these are very specific to our programs that you are going to have access to for you to charge the doctors. And they're going to vary. They're going to always vary based upon, again, that practice analysis. But we're just kind of giving you a good snapshot here of what you would be charging the doctors for all of these fees. Patrick, you have if a doctor asks you, can you do something for them, your classic answer has always been yes, but for a fee. And folks, you've got to understand that you're doing your medical billing company not for free, you're charging the doctor. So if the doctor asks you, hey, can you store my documents electronically? Yes, I can. There's a fee that goes along with that, doctor. Whether they're going to use you or anybody else, if they go to Iron Mountain, they're not going to get these prices to do what we're showing you right here on this iDocs Now, on this one document scanning and storage thing. They're going to be charged for something. So never be afraid to feel like that you're charging the doctor or not charging the doctor, or you're not going to get the business because you're overcharging the doctor. All of these prices that we're showing you here are basic industry standard pricing for doctors to be charged to do their billing.
And remember, folks, this is a template here that you're looking at. I've never seen a proposal that has all of our services in there. I don't think we have, because, again, every doctor's office is going to be different. So you might only have one or two of these in your proposal, right, along with the billing itself, of course. So, folks, the point is that it's in depth, and we go into this in our live training workshop and go over this proposal very carefully, give you some exercises to go through to get a feel for how you price, and then you can still pass this by our support people here, and at no cost, we will review it with you and give you some suggestions. Sometimes licensees have charged too much, sometimes too little, and so we're here to help you not leave money on the table, but be sure to actually get the account.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're here for, and that's, it's important that you know that we have all of this worked out. It's already there for you. Actually, you want to talk about our weekly training webinars that we have for our licensees. Everybody knows that's on this call and on this webinar. You know that every Wednesday we hold a webinar for you as a potential licensee of us. Now we're going to kind of take you back behind the scenes and show you some of the things that we do as a continual training for our licensees.
Yeah, Eric, let me just pause to say that I'm kind of keeping my eye on the question box there, and I haven't seen anything there typed in.
Right.
And yet we got over almost two people here on the webinar today. So maybe we're just giving them so much information that they can't even think of any questions. But again, folks, this is wide open. We always do this on the webinars to make sure that you have your questions answered by the end of the webinar. So just feel free to type those in and we'll address them as they come up. But let's talk about these weekly training webinars. Oh, there's one coming up now. Stephen says you're covering everything very well. Okay, well, thank you, Stephen. But these are very important. Now, Eric, again, I've never shown this, but I've gone behind the scenes and taken some screenshots of the actual webinars that we've done for licensees here in just the past few months. And we do this, folks, because we want you to realize that this is an ongoing learning process. You never stop learning. With ABS, we believe that because this is a dynamic industry, because things change from time to time, we have to keep you up on those things. So we constantly do the training. And look, here's proof right here. This is our Vimeo site where we host all of our webinar recordings. And look, you can see right here, here's one that's 2 days ago. There's one 1 week ago, and then 2 weeks ago, and 3 weeks ago, and so forth, 1 month ago. Every week we are doing one of these. And look at all the topics here, folks. I mean, we have covered in depth, Eric, every aspect of our current business and our current live training as we revise things and come up with new ideas. But we've also done lots of town hall meetings and interviews with licensees. Look here, I'll go to the next page. Here it comes up here. It's a lot of graphics, so there we go. Folks, again, these are webinars that are an hour to an hour and a half long. And every week, our licensees are getting to attend these and ask questions live to us. There's no charge for this, folks. This should be something that we're charging for, Eric. Why did we give these away for free? I don't know.
Well, it's because we love our licensees. We really do.
We do.
Bill's got a great question, and I really do want to address this question, Bill. You asked the question, on those setup fees, wouldn't the setup fees eat up all the money that they've saved their first year? You know, you don't have to charge that amount, Bill. If you want to work for free for that doctor, that's really up to you. Those setup fees go to you. That's what those setup fees go to. If you don't want to charge those amounts, then don't charge those amounts. However, I can tell you what the best practice is for our licensees, and that they do charge those amounts there because your time is valuable. And I think a lot of new entrepreneurs start their business off thinking that they've got to give the farm away just to get that first client. Look, if we go to the doctor today and we've got a gallbladder problem today, we may not be asking so much how much, what it's going to cost us to get that gallbladder removed. We're just going to the doctor and saying, get it removed. That's the whole purpose of doing that practice analysis. If you do not do that practice analysis properly and then give that information back to that doctor that they've got a real problem, they won't see the value in what you're doing for the setup fees either. But if you're able to show over the life of that doctor and in really the first year how they're really going to recoup that money from that setup, you're really not going to have a problem with it.
Yeah, let's say you did charge a doctor, $5,000 to get them set up on the electronic medical record system. As you saw from some of those revenue reports that we showed you, the lowest one was $33,000 in income for the year. So subtract the setup fee of $5,000, and really they've made money, haven't they, on that? So again, we gave you those examples, folks, and Eric, maybe that was a mistake because now people have those numbers in their head, and they're not the typical numbers. They are just examples that we gave you. We've had licensees charge $15,000 setup fees. If there's 3 or 4 doctors in the office. And then we've had people charge less, and usually they regret it, don't they, Eric? The first time a licensee signs up a doctor and they charge too little, they regret that with the next doctor.
Well, I know a licensee that is charging over $7,000 on a setup fee and getting it every single time. So it's just how you position yourself. So what we don't want to happen here is that you get kind of locked in on those numbers there. We look at everything along with you. You tell us what you think is the best way. We'll certainly help you out with it.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Dwayne, we do not hold those webinars at the exact same time every week, but in general, it's on Fridays around 11 a.m. Central Time. Now, we know that not everybody could make that time, and no matter what time we picked, some people couldn't make it, right? So we always record those and post them on our licensee support site, which if we don't hurry, we're not going to get to that. But I'll show it here in a minute as to where we post all those. And so they're always out there for you to watch 24/7, anytime you have
Yep.
access to.
Yep. Let's keep going here.
Yeah. So let's talk about new services because, folks, Eric is the head of our research and development department, and he is always doing ongoing research and development.
Right.
At least he better be, because otherwise I'm not paying him for what he should be doing. But
No,
that means
we're
that when you come up with new products and services, you've always got something new coming along, and there's never a charge for any of this, ever. You don't have
right.
to offer any of our new services. Eric, these are the ones we come out with here in the last 2 or 3 years. We didn't have these before.
Right.
And then, so that's why we kind of throw everything into what we call the physician toolbox. As we develop new services, we put it in there, and then eventually maybe it comes of its own and becomes a service, standalone service.
Right. Exactly. Yep. So we've got lots of new stuff even working this year going into the next year.
Yeah. Somebody's asking a question here about financing our license fee, and those are one of those things that you have to be tuned in with your ABS rep about, because we can help you find funding for a business like this, Keishley, but you have to be able to speak with one of our reps to have us guide you in that step by step. It's not something we could normally do on a webinar like this. Okay, so, here we are. We're at the private online portal. Now, Eric, I use that because most people kind of understand what that is, but let me go to it here. I've actually got a live connection here to the internet, so I'm going to put that up on the screen. Let me see if I can get that to where it at least covers up most of my desktop there. And I'm going to see if I can also increase the size of that a little bit there. Let me zoom in here so people can see this. Folks,
There you go.
we've never shown this live, I don't think, before, Eric, but here is our licensee support site. Now, we've talked about this on previous webinars, but I don't know that we ever showed it. So let me actually just sign in here. I've got a little thing here that fills it in, my login. And as you can see, boom, we're right there. Now, folks, this is live. If you were an ABS licensee and you logged in right now, you go to the news page and you see that we just posted something a couple of days ago with Wendy Bruno, the interview that we just did with her. And if you scroll back through these dates and look at them, you'll see that, look, here's 5 or 6 that we put up here in September already. Right. And then here's, it goes back in time as you go down, and then there's a previous button down here. Well, every time you click that previous button, you would go to the previous ones, and look, you can see we built this particular licensee support site, looks like back in September of last year. So every month you can go back and see all of the archived stuff that's there, and it's a ton of stuff.
You know, folks, inside of here, it's got everything that you would ever need to really get into and learn each step of the way, and things that you've learned in training to kind of go back through. There's videos very specifically. If you're going to get in there and you wanted to know more about marketing and learn how to use a sales rep, you can go into there, go right into the sales rep area and go, man, how did I remember that class? How does that go? We're going to teach you, train you. We've got all that information in there. Everything in there, you can see there, everything from the interview questions of what you need to do and ask. It's all there. So you're never without some information as quickly as the fingertips as you can get through on the website here for you.
Yeah, folks, if we went into every one of these menu choices right now and showed you how much there is here, it's hard to believe all that we've put in there. This is just in the past year. And it goes on forever. We had a previous site that our licensees had access to, but we've added probably 50 to 70 hours of training webinars on this site. You have access to this as an ABS licensee for life. And we'll continue building it and adding new stuff to it as we go along. But I thought it would be important that you guys actually see everything that's on there. And if you do a search, you can find any of it. We have documents that are available, tools, business documents, resources of all kinds. It just goes on and on and on, folks. I can't emphasize how valuable a site like this is. We had a licensee come through training about 2 months ago that had just bought a franchise, a different type of franchise, about a year ago. And he said, Patrick, I've looked at your licensee support site, and you guys have way more than that franchise had, and I paid $100,000 for that. So it's good stuff.
Bill, while you're switching screens there, Bill, thank you for replying back. Bill said thank you. That makes real sense about understanding about the setup fees. So thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes it's hard for Patrick and I to hopefully make sure that we're communicating properly to you. And we really do appreciate that feedback there. We've got new marketing tools, and I'm looking at the clock here too, Patrick. It looks like we've got about 8 more minutes here. Certainly tons of motivation that we can help you. But again, motivation is there for you to go listen to other licensees. You can go listen to their testimonies. You can hear them even after you become a licensee. You can talk with these folks. And again, we've got tons of information that is just on here, again, to help you go, man, I'm going to go back and listen to that interview with Carly or Tyranny or whoever it might be, and go back and listen and see all of this information here to really be able to help you motivate. There's that one from Terrence right up there at the top, so you could always go back and listen to those.
Yeah, and folks, I'm showing you these because, again, these are licensees that have been through the process of investigating this business, who've come through the live training, and who've actually built their business and are willing to share their success stories with other licensees. So there's nothing more motivating than hearing how other people have been successful in a business, and we've got oodles and noodles of those things.
Yes.
Okay. Eric, let's talk about, wow, I had that pause that whole time, and I was meant to show all kinds of stuff there. But anyway.
It was coming through. It was coming through.
It was?
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right, sorry.
It was coming through. Yep, absolutely.
Let's talk about personal coaching, because sometimes people need even more help. They don't need motivation. What they need is somebody to hold their hand and guide them. And we've got people who do that. They'll get on the phone with you, like this young man and this young... Wait, is it coming up? There it is. And this young woman here. We've got male and female coaches. These are sometimes other licensees in different parts of the country who've agreed to, for a fee, we pay them to do this, actually coach you to find out how you can be successful in the business as well. Eric, that says volumes about our licensees, doesn't it? To be able to share and want to share with other people their success. So.
What they find out here is once you become a licensee, you actually become part of the ABS family. And when you do that, licensees help each other. They really do. They help each other in their marketing. We've actually had other licensees help other licensees market their business, literally go help them. We've had licensees go help them implement in bigger groups. So that's what we work with. So when you talk about our support team, it's not just the folks here at ABS. We're here to help. But we may partner you up with another licensee that's maybe a little bit closer to you, or that you're working a same type of doctor. That's what's important.
Yep. And we use things like Skype and other video conferencing to be able to hook you up with those people so that you feel like you're actually talking to that person face to face and able to hear them and see them and build a trust factor there. So again, folks, everything we're showing you today is at no extra cost. So even though the $25,000 licensing fee to get into our business seems high initially, it's only as you consider all these things that we're going through today that you realize, you know what? I could spend a whole lot more than that if I got with a company that charged me for all these things.
Sure.
Now,
I like what Don said.
And I know we have some other questions here we want to cover, which we may go a little long today to answer the questions, but at least for the webinar, we want to get through some of the recent new clients. Folks, I'm showing you for the first time here actual information about orders that we've gotten in. Look, here's one today that came in October 2nd. I don't know if we put the ones that I sent you, Erica. There's one right there. These are not in exact order, but there's one that was yesterday, right? Is this the 7th?
Yep.
Yeah. And as you can see, these are actual enrollments of doctors. Now, we've tried to redact the information there about the licensee and the practice itself. But as you can see, it goes back in time here. Here's September 30th. There's the 29th. Folks, this is all of these that you're seeing here are signed up within the last, week, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, there's one that goes back to the 24th. Here's one that's back to another of the 24th on this one. Here's 23rd. Here's the 17th. But folks, these come in constantly. I get them in my inbox, and I'm just so thrilled every time I see them because it shows me that these licensees are actually out there building their practice. So I think we made it through it, Eric.
I think so. We've got a few questions here that we're going to kind of take towards here at the end. And folks, what we tried to cram in here in this last hour was really don't try to start your business without some support. And the only way it can be winning is if you're part of a winning company. And ABS is, I would say, is a winning company because of its 21-year history and going into the 22nd year of being in business. But we also understand, Patrick, and you understand the importance of people talking with us over the telephone, seeing us over the internet through our website, watching us on our webinars. But nothing becomes more real than when you get here to training. But you extend your money-back guarantee through that week of training. Why don't you explain why, and then talk really as we kind of wrap up here about the guarantee.
Yeah, folks, when you're looking at something that's a fairly large investment like this, although there's many businesses and franchises that are a lot more money than our licensing fee, it's still a chunk of change. We know that. And to deal with somebody over the internet, this is why we do the webinars with this live video. Those of you who are watching the recording, of course, are not seeing us live on the webcams here. But we do this because we want to build that trust with you. And yet we still know that you can't really know for sure deep down inside whether this is maybe the right business for you or not until you come through our training. It's only when you see those 40 hours of intense training live in front of a classroom that it helps you realize what the business really is all about. But I even decided a few years back to offer a 100% money back guarantee, which just means what it says right here. There's no weasel words in this wording. It's right exactly out of our agreement. And as you can see, it says if at the end of the training workshop, for any reason, you don't think this business is right for you, simply tell any staff member and they'll arrange for you to receive a full refund of your license fee. Now, are you going to be out the miles that it took you to get here or the fee to the airline? Yes. Your hotel's going to run you about $650 to $700 for the week. But folks, that's a very small investment to find out if this is for real. If it is, then it's well worth it to come down here.